Welcome to Work the Left Side. I am hyped to announce tonight's guest. I am joined by the one and only Saxa.
Hello.
How are you doing? Are you good?
Hello. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, yes and no. If anybody knows me, I'm suffering from a little bit of heartbreak at the minute. But this is a more than welcome distraction, you know. If anything's going to cheer me up, it's going to be sat here talking wrestling for an hour. Yeah, no pressure. You know, if I break down into tears at any point, you know, it's not your fault. So, but yeah, no. Thank you for obviously coming on, joining us. And yeah, you know, we'll sit down, we'll chat, we'll talk about the journey so far in the wonderful world of wrestling. I would be amiss, obviously, if I didn't acknowledge CandyStan straight away, because it was on the back of his episode. He was like, "Oh, you should talk to Saxa. Definitely get Saxa on." I was like, we've never really interacted that much, so I was always a bit wary about, you know, messaging new people or, you know, just sliding into DMs because it's just it sounds creepy kind of thing. So I was like, right. So I was a bit like, ugh. But then no, obviously
he was like, just do you want to maybe drop him a message? I was like, sure. If I don't know if like, are you sure he wants me to come on? Because I don't know what to speak about. I don't know what to say. But yeah.
There we go. That's it. You know,
Stan's great. He is very supportive of like everything, which is really nice. Like, he is lovely.
That's it. I mean, when he was on, I kind of did the whole like word association with, you know, like Temple people. When I said your name, he was just like proud. You know, that was the first word kind of came up, kind of thing with the association. So I was like, well, there you go. So yeah, obviously, you know, you've got a fan there, and he's following your journey, and yeah, as he sort of said, very proud of what you've done so far.
I think he was there. I think it was like one of the first weeks that I.
Sorry, say that again.
But sort of going on. I was just saying, like, I think he's been one from the beginning, which has basically seen me go from not thinking I can do a role to which is nice, to be fair.
That's good, because that's the thing. That's one of the. That is obviously, you know, we'll talk about, like, you know, getting into wrestling and what made you do that first of all. But you just said straight away there, you know, that doing a role seems to be like a hurdle for so many people. Like you wouldn't believe, you know, people think, oh, just doing a front row. It's like, but so many people I speak to are kind of like, oh, it's just, you know, it's just, especially doing it in a ring, it just feels weird. It's just like, you know, a lot of people struggle with it, you know, to start with.
I don't think it's a normal thing to do as an adult, is it? Like,
no.
You don't really go, oh, well, I'm good. But as a kid, you're doing roles and stuff on fields and stuff, but I don't see many adults doing that. Do you know what I mean? So it is a bit of a weird feeling.
I've had this conversation with, I've mentioned it a few times whenever the role thing comes up, so apologies, you know, if you've come back, you've watched other episodes, you've heard this story before.
It's okay.
But it just fits. You know, I've got a 7-year-old. A couple of years ago, he was trying to do forward rolls. I was like, mate, I will show you how to do a forward roll. I was a forward roll boss. Right, you know, I'm not remembering that I've not done one for like 20 odd years or something. Yeah. And I went to do it, and I was just like, my legs wouldn't push. I was just like, my head was like, why are you doing this? You could hurt yourself. You're an idiot. What are you doing? Don't do this. Don't push over and like deliberately fall forward. But like you said, when you're a kid, you're fearless. But yeah, as an adult, obviously, you know, I could still do it. It's just, I was surprised that I had that like 3-4 minute delay of like trying to talk myself into doing it. Whereas
was he impressed when you did it, or was he just like, that was
he was happy. He's like, okay. Then he went to do it and he fell sideways. So I was like, well, at least mine was better than yours. It's not a competition, but you know, yeah, I'm still better at rolls.
You're like, I've still got it. Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
Literally, did anyone record that? Because that was pretty cool.
I just Donkey Kong around the house. I just roll everywhere now. Like, I'm showing off.
It's a strange feeling. Like, forward rolls I was okay with. Weirdly enough, handstands I was fine with. Cartwheels I was fine with, and I don't know why. It just felt fine until I realised that I can only cartwheel on one side, can't cartwheel on the other side. So it doesn't help when I wanted to do certain moves. There was one time, I'm going off on a tangent already, and we've been here like 5 minutes, but there's one time when I was at Future Shock, I was trying to do like you cartwheel and then you do the drop kick, but you cartwheel out of a hip toss, I think it is. So you do the hip toss and then you cartwheel, and I realised I can't do it because I cartwheel on the wrong side. So I was like, yes, it's something I can do, and then I went, no, I can't even do that. So it took me. I practiced cartwheel on the other side for like 20 minutes, and went, no, I'll give it a go now. Got it. I've got it on video. I was so happy. Like I'd actually got it on video. Probably wouldn't be able to do that now. But stuff like that, backwards rolls, a normal backwards roll I was okay with. But do you know the ones where you backwards roll and you like press up and like explode out and land on your feet? I don't want to talk about them. I only was able to do it about 2 months ago, I can't lie. And it's hit and miss.
At least you've done it though. You know, at least it's not on. You can't do it. It's like, well, okay, I can do it. It's, you know, like I said, it's hit and miss. It's inconsistent, but it's there. So, you know,
exactly.
Just got to keep doing it, get that confidence up, and then it's like, yeah, sorted.
I'm not selling myself very well, am I really? Oh, I can't do rolls.
But, you know, besides that, you're still obviously, you know, you're a busy person. You know, I've seen like loads of footage, and you're absolutely, you know, you're holding your own against people like Tony Wright, Pele, you know, numerous other people. So yeah, and that's even though you can't cartwheel, and you're doing that without being able to do cartwheels or rolls. So, you know what I mean? Imagine if you could do those.
Cartwheels are all right. I have to be able to do a cartwheel because I do the cartwheel clothesline thing. But sometimes I'll do the cartwheel, but I'll misjudge like the distance, and I'll clip them with my foot. And I would never do that. I never mess up ever. But yeah, it's a bit mad, to be honest. Like I sit there and I go, oh right. And then you look back at footage, you go, oh, that looked all right actually. You know, it wasn't too bad.
I think, you know, you can be your own worst critic. I didn't say critic. Because like, well, you know, I did that, you know, coming soon reel, and I put everything on there. I thought everything looked awesome, and then you was like, I can't believe you put that move in at the end. I was like, what are you on about? Yeah, I was like, what? He was like, oh, you know, I think for like a split second, you know, you like, but it looks natural because of the movement of everybody else. And it's, you know, it's you in a fight kind of thing. I was just like, it looks fine to me as a fan. But you was like, oh, I can't believe, you know, oh, I hate that bit, you know, it looks awful. And I was like, it doesn't.
That's the one thing that honestly I was like, I watched back the Island like footage, and I know when I was in there, I was like, oh, that head scissors felt all right, you know, everything was going fine. And then that happened, and my knee just like gave way a bit, and I was like, oh god. And the first thing I did was go up to Pudge and go, I'm really sorry that I messed that up. And he went, what? I don't know if he like, and then he knew that I'd messed it up, but like, I think I do focus on the bad. And then I was like, oh no, oh god. But it's weird because to me it's obvious, but then for you saying like, no, it didn't really look out of place. I was like, oh. Okay.
I know what you're saying though, because obviously not from a wrestling point of view, but I think if anybody does anything that's like creative, or you know, like they want to take pride in, or you know, they kind of look back on, you know, everybody's their own worst enemy. It's like if I do drawings, you know, I'll look at something and I'll be like, oh shit, I'm not happy with it, and then somebody else will be like, oh mate, it looks awesome. I'm like, no, it's not.
I saw your one drawing the other day on your story. I was like, wow, that's mad. That's so cool. Like,
yeah, exactly. But I'm looking at it thinking, like, you know, he's got beady eyes, or you know, his nose is too pointy or something. It's everybody's got to critique their own stuff, unfortunately. But let's get the generic thing out of the way. Then obviously, you know, we're talking, you know, doing the rolls, doing the cartwheels and everything. But before that, you know, what made you decide, you know, you wanted to start wrestling? What made you take those steps through the doors in the first place and be like, yep, drop me on my head, please?
So I liked wrestling when I was a young kid. It's probably the same answer as everyone else, to be honest. Like, I liked wrestling as a kid. I grew up, my mom was like a big influence. Like, she loved wrestling. So we used to have it on at home, and every Saturday we'd have like curry night. So we'd have a curry, and then we'd watch like WWE and like pay-per-views and stuff. And I was kind of obsessed when I was younger. I was obsessed with CM Punk. I'd literally have like it's kind of embarrassing to say, but I don't care. So I'd put like, I don't know what, do you know when you injure yourself and it's like a sleeve, it's sort of like a sleeve bandage. It's not an actual bandage,
Yeah.
it's like a sleeve.
Yeah.
Don't know where I got that from when I was young, but anyway, had them and I cut little holes out and then, you know, do the whole I'm straight edge thing. And then my mum took me to like an indie wrestling show, because I'm from Shrewsbury, so it was where was it? I don't know if you know Madeley, this place called Madeley at Telford.
Heard of it, never been.
You're not missing much. Um, but it was called SWA at the time, Shropshire Wrestling Alliance, and I went there, watched a few. Tyler Bate was wrestling. I think it was the first time actually when I went. Tyler was on the show. It might not have been, but they were the sort of people that were on. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, like all of these people now that are, yeah. And then I don't really know how my mum knew him, to be honest, but she knew this wrestler. And we spoke to him at the end of the show, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. That looks cool. Like, this is awesome. And when I was watching WWE, I never really thought much into it. I just thought, cool. You know, I didn't think there was anywhere to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it was like when you watch TV shows and films, you're like, oh, I'm enjoying this, but I'm not going to probably become an actor sort of thing. So anyway, he went, well, come to training then. And I thought, training? Okay. But bearing in mind, I was at this point, sorry, I've just completely missed out a load of things. This is when I was younger. So I briefly trained when I was a kid. Yeah, so I started going to training. So I probably took my first bump when I was like 13, 14 or something. I don't know how old I was, to be honest. It was a long time ago. And then I sort of just stopped for like personal reasons and stuff. And then I got like quite sick, like with an autoimmune thing. And then I was like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this again. I couldn't bring myself to watch wrestling. So like there's a big gap in my knowledge between, like, I just no idea. So I just didn't really watch it, but I was always still thinking about it. I had this one video on my phone from when I was younger, and it was like a Hurricane Rana, like jumping from the middle rope. And that was just this one video I still had in my phone from when I was so young. And I used to watch it like every 6 months, you know, and you're just going down your memories.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was so cool. Like, you know, I'd love to do that again. And then it was when I moved up here after uni and all that, got all that out of the way. And then I was still thinking about it. And I'm like, listen, I'm an adult thinking about being a wrestler. Like, I need to do something about it. I'm going to just try. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'll go to the gym and try and get fit again and all this first. I'm just going to go, turn up, see what happens. So I found the island. And then I turned up, didn't tell anyone I was coming. I just turned up on a Saturday it was. And I think the first person I actually saw was Phil. Like, he was in the doorway and he just looked at me and went, hello. And I went, oh yeah, I'm here for the wrestling. And then all of a sudden they were all like, oh yeah, nice to meet you and whatever. And it was a session with Max. And honestly, I'll be completely honest, like that day, if that had gone bad and everyone was like horrible, I would probably not be here now. Like the how welcoming and nice they were from the get-go. It was just like, yeah, okay, I'm so glad I came back. And then I haven't looked back ever since. I've not been, you know, going in and out and going, oh, I'm not going to do wrestling for 6 years. And you know what I mean? I've just carried on with it now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, obviously, yeah, I love, like, that sort of the temple and all those kind of places. Just like I said, no matter where people train, 87% of the time, if it's a cool place, if it's a good school, one of the key things is always just that being welcome, that openness, that sort of support kind of thing. Yeah. Which I spoke to so many people that have been like, the same sort of mindset of like, well, I'll go once. And if I don't like it, or if somebody's got a bit of an attitude, or if somebody's kind of, a bit OTT with stuff, I'm out. And every time it's always like, oh, everybody was so lovely, everybody's so welcome. And then
exactly.
It was just, and
it really does make a difference. Like, you don't want to be, if you're already nervous to be somewhere, you don't want to be in an environment where you feel judged to try things, because it's not gonna work, and you never really feel like that. Like, I never feel like that at the island. I never really feel like that at Claw either. Like, they're both really good in terms of you don't feel like an idiot if you mess up. Took me a while to not feel but I still feel like an idiot myself, but other people don't make me feel like it. It's me that makes me feel like it. So that's a me issue. Like, that's nothing else.
And that's back to the be self-critiquing, being too hard on yourself kind of thing. But no, like I say, I've spoken to numerous people from the temple, from the islands. Everybody's awesome, everybody's lovely.
Yeah.
I've never been able to get over there, but it is on. I do need to get over to an island show at some point. It just seems like, just as a community, just as a place.
Yeah, they are good shows as well. Like, the crowd are always really good, really loud and stuff. Yeah, I don't think I've been to. I mean, I've only wrestled there once, but like, just being in the audience myself, it's never been like, God, this crowd's not reacting. They're always really good.
Well, I mean, one of the folks, I think it was in the Rumble. He was at the island, wasn't you? Red light, green light.
Yeah. That was so last minute, by the way. So last minute.
Oh, really? You just get like a call and like, bring your gear kind of thing.
No, I was at the show and they were like, "Oh, gear." I went, "Yeah." Why? And Greenwood went, "You're in the Rumble." I was like, "Oh God, okay." I was like,
because Rumbles are just, again, if I'm speaking to people, some people love them, some people hate them because of just so many moving parts. You got to do this, you got to do that. You kind of got to remember. Who's knocking. It just seems like there's a lot of things that could. It's like a domino stack. One thing falls, you're like, oh shit, we're done.
Yeah.
Obviously, you turned up, you smashed it, you looked awesome. Again, I'm sure you've looked back and been like, oh, but I've watched that match. Yeah, absolutely smashed it, nailed it. Everything was good.
It was really fun, to be honest. It was fun. It was unexpected, so I didn't have. No, that's a lie. I was going to say I didn't have time to be scared, but I was. Anyone who was backstage with me, I was going like, for no reason. Don't know why. People look at me like it's a Rumble. Calm down. But yeah, the nerves are still there.
Exactly. But that's the thing, though. Especially the pressure should be there. You're right to feel it, because like you say, it's a Rumble, but you've got 60 seconds or you've got 2 minutes to make an impression. If you make a good enough impression, then if the fans connect with you, or you make that connection with them, or they see something in you, then you're like, right, this is my time. If I've only got 60 seconds, or if I've only got 2 minutes, I'm gonna make it count.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And in a way, like, I've done, how many Rumbles have I done now? I don't know if it's four or five. And it's, you just basically, you remember your bit, someone else's bit, and then bits in between, it's not, when I first did it, terrifying. Now, because I've done a show, like a singles match, it probably wouldn't be as terrifying. I'll say that. If I'm in another Rumble, I'm probably going to be backstage. Am I allowed to swear, by the way?
Yeah, go for it. So
all right, yeah. Because I can't believe I've got through the whole thing already. Not swearing, to be fair. But I'll be backstage shitting it, like, always.
Well, again, that's good, man. It's just nerves. It's just them butterflies. If you didn't care, you're not doing what you need to be doing, kind of thing. So, but
that's what everyone said. To be fair, they're like, as soon as you stop caring that much, like, that's not good. That's bad. And I was like, yeah, okay, but it doesn't make it any easier for the old anxiety, does it? Like,
oh God, no, definitely not. No.
Like, I couldn't even go to a shop on my own a few years ago, and what am I doing now? Like,
that's awesome. But again, that's that's building yourself up. That's having it's building again. That's from speaking to people. That's another aspect of like doing the training, doing the wrestling. It's just as much as we're joking about you over critiquing yourself, being negative and looking back on stuff. You've got to know the positives as well. Like you sort of said, you're now able to do this. You're now able to get in the ring. You're able to come out. Interact with the fans. High fives all around. Be a people person. And it's just and that's I presume obviously that's wrestling has built that up in you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm still scared when I make my entrance. I still am awkward, but I'm just me. Like, my character's just me because I'd just rather. Do you know what I mean? If I'm relatable, hopefully people will relate to me and not just a character. And I hat off to people who play a character, but I don't even have the energy for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, doing absolutely everything in a character that's completely different to me, mine's just enhanced Like, it's just awkward. I'm just awkward. Like, I was at the island on Sunday, and there's this new thing that I'm going to start doing. So spoilers if anyone starts seeing me in a show and I go do the clappy thing, because basically we were doing a trainee match, and I just started like, at training it's awkward to try and do character work, trying to get people clapping and stuff. It's awkward. So I was just like, come on everyone, it's really embarrassing. And Billy was like, oh, you have to put more effort into it than that. And I was like, oh, well, just do the clappy thing, everyone. And then now this is a thing I'm going to start saying to people on shows. Just do the clappy thing, guys. Come on. And then we'll start the match.
Well, that's, that is, I mean, I'm talking to like, when I've spoken to Priscilla before, she, they're like a massive advocate of that crowd kind of participation. You kind of got to stop, let the crowd register what you're doing, or get the crowd interacting with you, and doing something like that. Like you sort of said, the staff you might think it's feels or something like that. It's not. It gives the chance. The crowd will be like, oh, the wrestlers trying to interact with us, and they'll probably get behind it and be like, yes, Obviously, you've got to get a few more.
That's one thing I need to work on, is that character stuff, because I sort of go, I'm scared, and then I just focus on the match, and I need to be a bit more confident to get people more involved. But
that's a confidence that will come with time. Like I said, Rome wasn't built overnight, or whatever the saying is, or that kind of thing. But that's the kind of stuff that comes with, you get the confidence. The more laps you get in the ring, the more that becomes second nature. Then you can start working on other things. You can, like I said, you can start interacting with the fans. You can start just having a cheeky smile, or having a bit of amplified mannerisms and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, crazy stuff that I don't even think about yet, like working the camera. I can't even get started working the camera. Like, when they've got the camera entrance thing, and I didn't even know it's there. I'm just like, oh no. But then the people who are doing like this in the camera and all that stuff like that, there's so much to it. It's.
I mean, I'm sat at this side. Generally, I've said this so many times, it just blows my mind. Just the amount of parts and the cogs and everything that goes into just like, so I said, just doing an entrance, or getting in and out of the ring. Like, so especially when this comes in this day and age of like YouTube and stuff, especially like Island, all their shows eventually end up on YouTube for free. People are going to be watching them. Obviously they're recorded, and you've got the hard cam or the floor cam or whatever. It's just, not only have you got to sort of keep that psychology, you've kind of got to keep in mind the flow of the match. You've also got to remember like the positioning and like where the camera is. Just like that's the kind of stuff that honestly blows my mind. And as you go on, as that confidence builds, it will just become second nature to you.
Yeah, and I am a bit like, I believe as well that a lot of that stuff you can't teach at training, or you can to a certain extent, but doing stuff at character work you can't teach at training, really, because your audience are wrestlers at training. You know what I mean? It's not the same. And the whole working cameras and stuff. I mean, Gradwell, to be fair, he's really good at the hard cam stuff and making sure that you're always doing stuff and pointing at where the hard cam would be. But things like entrances and confidence, I think personally it will only come from doing the actual experience.
Yeah.
It's like school, isn't it? You do all your written work, but then the actual work experience when you go out there is what how you're going to learn.
Yeah. You learn by doing, kind of thing, as opposed to, like you said, spot on, especially something like wrestling. When you're in training, like your audience are other wrestlers. They're there. Can you trust their reactions? Or are they just reacting because they know they should react to something? Whereas fans will react when they want to react, not because they feel they have to. And like sort of said, especially with character works, you could. I'd be absolutely nailing it in training with a character, and you take out in front of a live audience, and it's fucking tumbleweeds, and you're like,
exactly,
exactly. Back to the chalkboard on that one.
Exactly, it's one of them, and sometimes your peers at training are gonna cheer everything because they're supportive of you, but fans, they've got favourites and they've got people that they don't like. So they don't have to cheer, you know, they're paying to watch what they want to watch. If they don't want to watch you, they're not going to cheer you. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it is different.
There's always a bar, or there's always somewhere to go get a drink if they're not liking it. They're just like, right,
Yeah.
I'm going. But you know, that's the thing. So obviously, you know, the matches I've watched, you know, the footage I've watched, you know, you're coming out, the fans are interacting with you, they made that connection. But when you first started, again, this is always something that intrigues me, you know, when people first get into wrestling, whether they get into it thinking like, you know, oh, I'm going to be a babyface or I'm going to be a heel, or they're kind of like, right, I'm on the fence. Let's learn the basics. Let's do the foundations. Let's, you know, get everything down and see what feels more natural. You know, if I'm going to work face, I'm going to work heel. If there's like a preference, when you got into it, did you kind of be like, right, you know, I want to be a people of the person, or is it a case of like, you know what, I kind of fancy being a little bit gnarly. I want to get in people's faces and just tell them to do one.
Yeah, I think I was on the fence, you know, which might surprise a few people because everyone's like, you're so smiley, blah, blah, blah. But there was a while where I was thinking, I don't know which one I want to be. I don't know if I want to, because you know, when you're in a mood and you feel like an absolute arsehole. Yeah, there's times where I'm like that. Yeah, same. But there's times where I'm like that and I'm like, yeah, I'd want to just come out and just start flipping everyone off. But then I don't remember who it was that said it, but they were like, I can't see you as a heel because you're too smiley. And I'm like, oh. So, and then there's the whole thing about the heels need to be the ones in control and stuff like that. So I just think, I think something I probably will do when I'm more confident.
Yeah.
But for example, like doing heat on someone, I'm going, are you okay? Are you all right? Like, well, am I being stiff here? Like, it does, you know. And the first time I tried to like kick someone in the corner, I was so scared of hurting them. My toe poked them and was like, I don't think this is for me for now. But the whole character thing. So actually, how did I forget about this? The first time I was in front of an audience was being a manager for FTM. It was like a little charity show, and obviously they were heel, and I wasn't like as bad as I thought I'd be. I didn't smile, or if I did, it was like, look at you, sort of thing. Yeah. But then I just felt bad afterwards. I was like, this kid come up to me, and I just went, and then you know when they look at you, and then I'm like, am I supposed to be in character still, or am I supposed to? Can I be nice now? I said to Liam, I went, can I be nice now, or have I've got to be an arsehole? He was like, oh, you can be nice. And I was like, oh, yeah, so sorry about that. And I just thought, I'm not the best heel right now. Maybe one day. I'm going to do a really dark turn.
Oh, can you imagine? The big nice smiles turn into big sinister smiles.
Yeah.
Or,
like,
you only smile when you've done something.
Turn.
Yeah. Or you only smile when you've done something really sinister kind of thing. Yeah. And it's like, ooh. I love that whole character. I just, again, like I said, it's just something else that's going to come with the confidence. It's going to be a case of having that confidence in the ring to be a little bit gnarly, and also just to be like, you know, even with the fans, you know, I'd like to, obviously, kids not so much, you know, that's genuinely like, you know, if you make a kid cry, that's going to be heartbreaking, but it's kind of going to be it crap, you know, it is what it is. You know, afterwards you can hopefully see him after the show and you're like, no, I'm a really nice person, honestly. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
But it's having the confidence to do that kind of thing, like it's not said, and not getting out of your own head and not having that need to apologize straight away and be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. To be fair, I did find it fun, I can't lie. Like, there was a group of kids all shouting at us, and I got in their face and went, started screaming at them, and I thought, this shouldn't be as fun as it is. Like, I need to go to, like, therapy or something, because I don't know why this is so fun for me. But it was quite fun, and there was this, like, old woman, like, shouting at me, and I was like, you are! And then I thought, whoa, I was horrible, you know? But I think the wrestling side of it, for now, face completely. I think it goes with all my move sets and stuff. I'd have to think about how to be a bit like more heel with doing a 619. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit.
Yeah, I like that because again, that's something that kind of divides people. Some people don't, you know, change the move sets when they're working face or heel. They've just kind of got that move set kind of thing. But yeah, I agree. I'm kind of definitely more like you know, I like the mindset of, you know, you've got a heel move set, you've got a face move set kind of thing. You know, you don't want to be getting the pops if you're a heel. You don't want to be doing those high octane sort of. Every now and again, it works. You know, it's fine as long as you're not taking the the limelight off the other person. But
Yeah.
I think it definitely should be a slow pace. Like, I can
Yeah.
doing the 619. I can imagine you going to do it and then just stopping and then just whacking them on the back of the head or something.
Yeah.
That would be like the full version.
Or maybe I have thought about this, and I don't know why, because I don't know why I'm thinking about being a heel already. But I thought about doing the 619, sitting on the rope and grabbing the head afterwards, and just like, you know what I mean, and just posing with them. But yeah, I don't know if you can get away with doing the 619 as a proper arsehole heel.
Or like say, just stop, don't even whack them. Just like say, pose for the camera and be like, look at this. Like just put your face next to theirs and be like,
yeah, just on the rope, like
stupid stuff like that. Yeah.
But then I'd be smiling, I'd be going because I can't keep a straight face. So.
But that's the thing. That's a cheeky smile. That's I'm a better than you smile. Kind of things like
true.
That. So it all works.
I guess.
But again, that's confidence. That will come with time. Further down the road, when everything else becomes second nature, then you can start being like, I can mix this up a little bit. And,
I think as well, when I've got my character down, like my things I do and things I say and whatnot, when I'm confident interacting with an audience in a nice way, then maybe I can go, how can I tweak it slightly to still be me, but an arsehole version.
with an edge, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing as well, obviously we're talking about confidence, talking about, all this kind of sort of stuff. A big part of, I think, just wrestling as a whole now, as we mentioned, because of the whole YouTube things being recorded, social media like Instagram with Reels, is the ability to be able to sort of cut a promo or to build a match kind of thing. Obviously not right now, but, going forward, I think that's, is that something that you're aware of? Is that something you're thinking about?
Yeah, I've done one promo in my life. No, like I've tried, but I've gotten through one promo, and that was like a couple of weeks ago. And that was we were basically at Claw doing promos for Superstar because it's starting up again. And it wasn't recorded or anything, but it was just doing it to each other.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. Like I was terrified, and it was actually PL who brought me to the side. He went, "What do you want to say? Like, who are you? What do you want to say?" And I went, "I don't know. I don't know." I said, I'm just like chilling, aren't I? Like, I'm here for a good time." And he was like, "There you go, do that then." So I did it, and Jay was actually like really impressed. And I thought, I was like, I'm just chatting out my arse here. But you just get the main bits in and then just chat rubbish. But in terms of doing it like for social media and putting promos and stuff out there, I'd be very scared to do my first one and put it online because I'm going to be constantly like, do you know when you post something, you look at it 8 times and go, nah, I'm going to get rid? That would be me. Yeah, just even listen to yourself on record. No. Yeah, I just hope no one asks me to do one.
Yeah, eventually you're gonna have to bite the bullet, aren't you? But again,
I know.
It all comes down to the confidence. I think obviously, once you found that character, you've built it up, to where you want it to be. You've got the character now, but it's always going to be in a state of like evolution. You're always going to be building on it, working on it. Once you get to a point where I think as well, when you kind of got that amplified version of yourself as a character, probably you could do less in a promo and it'll come across more. It's just just obviously again, I'm looking down the road, I'm just thinking at some point you'll be cutting promos and just like, yeah, I'm coming for that belt, you ain't got a chance. Just be very, very cool about it. But it's all good.
Well, the first promo that I post on Instagram, it's probably going to be take 58 or something. Like it'll take me about 3 hours to get to what I want it to. But it's exciting, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because obviously that is stuff like promos is where you can show your character before anyone even sees you wrestle. So it is a good sort of thing to do and be comfortable with doing. Next time I have the opportunity, I'm not going to shy away from it.
That's it. Make the mistakes, but learn from it. I mean, Sean Only's awesome. I've seen loads of Sean Only promos. That dude's got the chops, kind of thing. So if you can pick his brain, when it comes to cutting promos, Sean's.
I don't know if I've been there when he's done promos or anything. Like, I'm not sure if I've been to a session where he's done promos, but I've seen his promos and they are good, to be fair. Yeah, I would be scared. I think it might have been one of his sessions, or it was one of Max's sessions where we did something like that, and I like hid. This was back at the beginning, and I went, "Oh, I could be wrong. I could be making this up." So anyone that's watching and goes, "Ah, she's full of shit," but I think it was when Stan had brought his daughter, and I was like, "I'm gonna go and check on Alexis," and I went in and was just like sitting there. Because I was like, I'm not doing promos, I'm scared of promos. But that was back in the day. I'm braver now.
There you go. You see, do it, bite the bullet. Like I sort of said, and don't be too hard on yourself about it. Like I said, even if it's take 58, it's better than it being take 61. So,
True.
next time that we take 55, then we'll get it down to take 49, and it will just be like, eventually, like one take Saxa, jobs are good, and
One
that's it.
take, boom,
One take Saxa, wash.
No, obviously it's amazing. Like, I've filmed promos like Lucia Lee. I filmed one of her promos a few weeks back, months back now even, and she can just go straight into it. It's crazy. She's like, and then and I'm going, how do you just do that? Like, how do you just do it like that? That's insane. That's amazing. Just one take and you're done. I want to get to that point. Like,
that's
crazy.
it. That's the goal. That's it. You kind of see you know where you want to get to, and yeah. But it's just practice. I'm sure they'll be the first to sort of say, it's just practice over and over.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing it to yourself in front of a mirror, kind of thing, and you just, I think it was. I'm going to sound like a broken record here because I'm going to go back to a source of William Regal when he's talking about people cutting promos or learning to do promos, and it's like nobody's got an excuse, not to kind of practice. Like if you've got a mirror at home, practice a promo. Like when you get in, if you're washing your face or you're washing your hair, anything you're doing part of your morning routine, if you're looking in a mirror, cut a promo, even if it's just for 2 minutes, hell, just, say the alphabet, but learn to pronounce the letters kind of thing, or try pronouncing the letters differently and see if anything kind of feels.
No, that is a good way of looking at it. Like, and even everyone's got a phone these days. No one has to see your bloopers. Like, no one has to see them, your little reel of shit. But like, there's been times where I have like recorded something and gone, no, and I'm not ever going to put it anywhere because I'm promoting a show that doesn't exist. For one, like it's just a random thing I've made up in my head. But it is good to practice. I think it's just an extra layer when you're doing it in front of people.
Yeah.
Like at training and you're doing it in front of people, it's like you'd be doing it in front of a live audience. You've got no takes. You have to do it there and then. You have to think on the spot. That you can't write a script down, learn it, whatever like you can do with recording on your phone. I think that's like an added level of like pressure.
That's so much pressure. Like you sort of said, it'd be very easy to kind of like, especially when you're starting off, to stutter or to trip over your words or to second guess what you're saying, and like you start to make one point and you veer off into something else, and you're like, oh fuck, I'm just talking bollocks here. I'm going around the house. It's like, oh shit, I would be exactly the same if I was going to put. I'd be like, no, that's it.
But what show am I promoting again? Sorry, what was the date? Oh, we got the date wrong again.
I'll just be that guy, but I don't do. Get me a manager. They can do the promos for me. I'll just get.
Great idea, actually. Yeah, that's a good idea.
There you go. That just made the whole last 10 minutes of this conversation redundant now. It's like, you know what? Forget it.
Get yourself a Paul Heyman and just go.
That's it. Get yourself a manager. Let them do the work. I was even thinking, like, back if this falls into that, there's like Doc Gallows when he was in WWE originally, was like fetus. He had like zero personality, zero charisma until the bell rang, and then he became like a wrestling machine. I was like, that would be such a great character. You could just literally like just blank face, walk to the ring, zero effort, and then all you've got to do is wrestle when the bell, rings. You suddenly like light up and you become a wrestling machine.
That's quite good, yeah. I don't think personally I could do it, but it would be good for people to, because I just go, I just start laughing.
It takes the pressure off. You don't have to do a flamboyant entrance. You don't have to interact with the fans. You just literally like get led down to the ring, and then you stand there like a freaking golem until the bell rings.
That is good, to be fair.
Yeah, that's Wrestling 101 easy. I'm saying it's easy option. Probably it's a lot harder. He made
harder
it easy
to keep a straight face. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I'm saying that. I'll get Doc Gallo fans shouting at me like, hey, he's a freaking masterclass. I'm saying I'll get shouted out by Doc Gallo fans. I presume there's some out there. They're not very vocal about stuff. But yeah, again, that's just all that sort of going forward. So, we mentioned FUTR. You guys you ventured over to FUTR. I remember seeing like one of the photos. It's like, the Island crew all went to FUTR.
Yeah, I had a little road trip down to Sutton and Ashfield, is it? I think that's
Jozy,
what the place was called. I just got the
directions.
directions.
That rings a bell. But Jozy was with you as well, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah, he was. Yeah. God, the way back was a bit, because I'm not that used to driving long distances. I can't lie, right? And I'm there going, we need to stay awake, hallucinating mad stuff. Aria's in the car, like in the passenger seat, asleep. I'm like, oh, great. You've got Jozy, Chris, and Stan in the back. And then I'm like, right, we're going to have to do some carpool karaoke. We're going to have to do something. So I was listening to Screamo really loud at one point. So there was Screamo going. I was like, Stan was going, you listen to proper scary music. Like, and I was like, no. It's like, it's keeping me awake. I was going, yeah, like this. And then we put Adele on and I was like, right, come on. And then they were all singing Adele in the back. And I was going, like, trying to stay awake. So it was an adventure. It was fun though. Well, it was good because we all got to meet people we'd never met before. Like we got to network and work with different people in the Rumble as well. That was really, really good. And we also got to do the seminar beforehand with Kingsley. So it was just like a full day of it, which was really good.
And that was the magic word right there, though, was networking. That is the word I hear more often than anything else when I'm talking about wrestling to people. I was like, oh, you've got to network, you've got to get out, you've got to see people. It's all about the networking. And I'm like, so
100%. Like, promoters have said before, like they get so many messages like, oh, can you book me? Can you book me? Can you book me? But it's the people that they meet and the people that actually help and make an impression that they're going to think, oh, I'm going to book that person, or like my thing is like maybe I will eventually, but when I am meeting people, I don't think about bookings. I just think, oh, they're cool,
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, it was nice to meet them. They were funny because I'd never met half the people backstage at FUTR. They were so funny. We were having a proper laugh with them. Like, oh god, there was someone had a speaker, and I don't know why. So I was terrified again. New people, new audience. Didn't know what was going on. So my way of dealing with it was just complete avoidance. So the speaker was on. They were putting like drill and grime and rap on and stuff, and I was going, "God, new man!" Like in the corner doing this like proper rap to the entire of this song. And all these people are like, who the hell is she? And then Pele has got a video of it somewhere. I've never seen it, but he has got a video and he's like, that's going on Snap. That's going on my story. I'm like, never did. But it was just like, you wouldn't think, we've only just met these people today. Everyone was really nice and it was really great. And it's good to get everyone out there as well. Like 3 hours away or whatever it was.
That's the thing, though. I mean, it doesn't get any more old school wrestling than a road trip with a car full of people traveling 2 or 3 hours. And again, I love so many conversations about what people, just even like you say, carpool karaoke and people singing along. Some of the tunes people have said to me, I've been like, "Oh, no, really?" And they're like, "Yeah, just when we're on the road, every now and again a bit of cheese, it helps, keep you focused." I've got the mental image now though, poor Stan being in the back of your car, actually petrified by screaming music. I just imagine that like that.
I think he was surprised because my music taste is just everywhere. Like there's a range of it. It's everything. It's like from Stormzy to like Five Finger Death Punch. Like it's literally heavy metal to sometimes country a little bit, like country rock. I like that sort of stuff. But it's everything. But sometimes people don't know that I like rock as well. So it's again, I'm so sorry, but I just go off on tangents.
Go.
We were all, I think it was after a TNT show, and we all went out, or it was some show, and a couple of like TNT lot went out, and we ended up in K1, which is like a heavy metal like sort of club thing. I was with a few people, and I'm there going with these girls at the bar going da da da, and then everyone turns around to me and goes, "What the hell?" They were looking at me like it was Liam and Critchy, and they went, "What the hell?" And I was like, "What?" They were like, "How do you know this?" I'm like, "Because I listen to more than just rap. Everyone just thinks I listen to rap. Like, yeah, I do a lot, but I listen to other things as well." But Adele, I don't really listen to on my own. I can't lie. I don't know where that came from. But we were proper
Yeah.
having a good time. Yeah, yeah.
I don't blame you on that one. I agree with you with everything else. I'm all for diversity when it comes to music. I'm kind of like, I was having this conversation with somebody previously. It makes me laugh because when you're kind of a teenager or, early 20s or whatever, you're kind of really stubborn about what music you listen to. You will, like, I only listen to like metal or hip hop when I was like around that time period.
Yeah.
It's only when I got older that I was kind of like, actually, I don't really give a fuck what people think. I'm like, you know what? Put a bit of Wham on. I'll have a bit of a sing song. I'll put a bit of Disney Hawks on. But everything like that. I still listen to metal and rap, and like I say, country. I've got into recently, kind of thing. A bit of Jelly Roll, Struggle Jennings. Those kind of guys as well. But it's just but everything. I put Stevie Wonder on. Just put a bit of Stevie on. That's Boss. Bit of Marvin Gaye, bit of Motown. It's everywhere. It's just everywhere. But I still stand by.
Boring. Keeping yourself to one genre, like it's boring.
Exactly. I did it for so many years because I was worried like people would be like, I was just like, that's who I was. That was my identity. I was the guy who listened to like rap or metal kind of thing, and that's who I was. I couldn't go away from that.
But I'm the same as you. To be fair, like when I was younger, I grew up in like my dad was in a heavy metal band, my mum was in a band, like my mum and dad loved heavy metal, and then I was like, well, I'm going to get so judged for listening to Dave. Like, I'm there going, like proper rapping, Dave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're probably not going to approve of this. But at the end of the day, like, I don't want to listen to the same music all the time.
Yep.
I want a bit of variety in what I'm listening to, depending on your mood, depending on who you're with. The amount of people that you can get on with because you like more than one genre of music is insane.
That's it. You open up your genre of music. You're talking to all different kinds of people. This is awesome. But I will say, right, just as well, if you've never heard of it, because this might be way before your time, but one of the best. We're talking about rap. We're talking about metal.
Okay.
One of the best albums ever is a soundtrack from a film called Judgement Night. If you take anything away from talking to me from this conversation, go on Spotify, Deezer, whatever music platform you've got.
I'll message you, ask you later what it was.
Yeah, I'll message after just Judgement Night soundtrack. Just check that out. One of the best albums ever made.
So it's like rap and rock together.
It's basically I mean, the whole thing is it's like it's two bands or a metal band and a rap artist collabing together. So you kind of got you got Sonic Youth and Pearl Jam. You got Mudhoney and Ice-T. You got Faith No More with Boo Your Tribe. House of Pain with Anthrax, I think, or Cypress Hill with somebody else as well. And it's just like it's House bollocks, is it? But basically it's just it's awesome.
No, I do love that. I love when it's so. I know it's a bit more now, but like Machine Gun Kelly and Bring Me the Horizon, the song with them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I like stuff like that because then you're mixing them both, and it's like, there's a bit of rap, but it's on top of some good, like,
But I mean, and this album came out way before. This album came out before like new metal, before the whole Linkin Park, and Limp Bizkit, and all that kind of, they kind of made that style. This was before that. And also before that, you had Anthrax and Public Enemy, Bring the Noise. That was the OG rap metal collab for me.
Wow, I'll listen to it.
That is.
I can't say I don't think I've listened to it. I don't think so. But I'm really bad with, unless I'm like a die-hard fan, I won't know names of bands and stuff. I'll go, I recognise that song.
It's like it's like when you see somebody's face, like, I know that person. I don't know the name, but I know. You watch a film or something, it's like, I know that guy. He's been in that other thing that I watched, but I don't know what his name is.
But do you know when someone will say, do you know this song? You've got to know this song, and then like they play it to you, and you're like, no, I don't. Like Tyler Adams, he does it to me all the time. And he'll go, you know this one? And I'm like, do I? And then he'll play it, and I'll go, yeah, I do. No, I don't. And it's like, no. But then some songs I'll go, no, I don't think I know this, and then I'll look, and then I'll see like who it's by and the song name, and I'll go, oh, no, I've never heard this, and then they play it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I know this one. So yeah, it's
You'll have heard it somewhere, like say like on a night out or in somebody else's car or something.
Yeah.
It was like, no idea who that was, but yeah, I like it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the music portion of the episode. But if anybody's watched, obviously not if anybody's, hopefully somebody's watching. You know, that not just for yourself, everybody watching. Tomorrow, put the Judgement Night soundtrack on and just thank me later. Thank me in the comments.
I'll have a little listen on my drive when I'm driving next tomorrow. Probably I'll have a little listen on my drive.
Nice. But yeah, so that's well. I mean, that's always a big part, you know, of the whole wrestling journey as well. Is, you know, like when do you get to pick your own music, or does the promoter, whoever way you're doing your training, you know, when you're sort of building up yourself and, you know, you're about to make your debut, you know, you're doing this or you're doing that. Do they come to you and be like, have you got a choice of song you want to use, or you've got to use, again, because of like YouTube and stuff and copyright issues? I don't know how it works now.
Yeah, so my main song that I come out to, I picked it. It works. It was just that I was going to use it once for Superstar, because that's where like my wrestling debut, that's where I debuted. It was just in a Rumble at Superstar, and we were doing like entrance practices, and I had like 4 songs, and I was like, which one do you think? And I asked like Lucy, Sky and Jay, I was like, which one? And they were like, oh, they're this one. And I was like, okay. And it's Bikini Bottom by Ice Spice, right? Which, yeah, but it works. It just matches my character. It's like yeah. Anyway, so but the funny thing is I swear Lucy Sky put on Bikini Bottom SpongeBob at first. I swear, or she was going to, and I went, no, not that one, like no. And then obviously she got the right one, and then I did it. And at training, it was really awkward. And I still feel awkward sometimes coming out to it, but everyone else says it works. And I'm like, yeah I guess it does. But there are certain shows that you can't use your own music. So I've done a few BWP shows at like the camps, so like in the holiday parks and stuff, and you just get given a song. And I thought it was a joke at first. So I remember Max was saying to me in the car on the way, he was like, I said, well, what about my music? He went, oh, you'll just probably come out to like some Status Quo or something. And I was like, what? Really? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't know if you're joking or not. Like, what do you mean? Like, Status Quo is not going to match my character. What? And then he was being serious. And you have to do the whole clap your hands and that. So yeah, sometimes you can't choose. Other time, like the main shows you can. There was one show I did, and he was basically like, because of copyright, do you want because it's recorded for YouTube, do you want that? And we'd have to probably turn it down or whatnot. Or do you want like something else that's just not going to be copyrighted? And I was like, I'll have my music, please, because I'd rather be able to come out to that in person than it look a bit weird on YouTube, you know. Then I
said, well, at least they're in person, right there, right then. It feels right. It's what you're used to. Yeah,
exactly. And it sounds so stupid, but my song now does get me in that character.
Yeah. And that doesn't sound after all. That's perfect. As soon as you hear that music, it's understandable that will kind of flick the switch and you kind of like, right, game face on kind of thing.
Yeah, but I'm always like, I want to change it. But everyone's like, no, don't change it, because you get that music now is associated with you. At the beginning, it's very like, dun, dun, dun. Like it's very like, they know, if they know who I am, they know that I'm coming out, sort of thing. And I'm like, oh well, I guess I'm gonna have to deal with it then, aren't I? It was a joke at first, and then it's actually become a thing, so we're just gonna roll with it.
It's just like, again, you know, so many sort of, but yeah, that's kind of a curse. Like you say, if you don't like it, but if it's kind of got over, if people kind of, like you said, now associate it with you, you kind of like, shit, I'm stuck with it. I'm gonna have to stick, because if people start reacting to hearing the music. I know, but again, as long as you can kind of ride it out, and as long as it does its job, and like say, flicks that switch, gets game face on, gets you ready. Again, I just remember like hearing a story, like Randy Orton hated one of his theme songs, and it always confused me. So I was like, why would you do it? But it's just like, yeah, he held it on for so long because it was over with the fans. It didn't matter if he liked it or not. It's the fans.
Was this before or after he got to WWE?
Joined WWE. I think it's like, yeah, one of the WWE songs. I think it was like his first solo song after he broke, left Evolution.
Yeah.
Not the I Hear Voices in My Head. The one before that, it was a bit more generic. And he sort of saying he hated it.
They don't have a choice, do they? Do you think they have a choice in WWE? Like, you just get made a song, and I don't know how much power they really have. Like, do they pick their own gear, or do they get someone to make and they have to wear what they want? Like, all of that.
I would presume it depends on where you are on the card. The higher up the card you get, the more say you probably have. It's like, Punk being able to pick, being able to sort of say, I want, Living Colour, Cult of Personality eventually is my thing. That's I want that and put my foot down. Whereas, Joe Blogg's opening the show gets told he's got generic tune number 3. Fair enough. But again, I think obviously as your name, the more you offer to the company, the more power you have. But it's just getting over that. The point was, sorry, I've kind of lost track myself. What was saying, it was like as soon as the fans associated that music with him, it was stuck. It was like I couldn't change it. I had to wait and wait until he changed his character or he changed about his character. Then he could change the music because it fit the new character. It was like until that happened. As soon as the fans latch onto it, it don't matter if you like it or not. It's like, nope.
Exactly. Like certain things, like if I did a move and the fans weren't really bothered about it, I probably wouldn't do the move again because you're doing it for the fans anyway, aren't you? Like, to a certain extent, like you are, like
Or would you get really stubborn about it and be like, no, I'm freaking doing that again until
you cheer me. I'm gonna do this 3 times until you cheer me.
You will appreciate this move. I've worked freaking hard to do this move.
Literally.
You just get one single clap and you're like, yes.
It's
validation. Validation. That's it. But it's just, again, like I say, everything's going to come with confidence. You're still so early on, like in the journey. It's just, that's crazy. What's going to be going forward? Like I'm just excited to see, that one take promo. Start to. I want to see your radius of bookings start to expand. From Ireland to FUTR. You guys have got an amazing scene over there, so it's not like you're short of. Like you said, you can probably network as well and not have to travel too far. It's a crazy scene over there.
It's a bit crazy. Like it's a good scene, but the sort of shows that I've been doing that are sort of repetitive and not round here, which is really weird and backwards. It's like I'm going a lot to like West Midlands and stuff and doing shows there, and then Wales like with BWP and stuff. So I'm going to be on Superstar, so that will be Liverpool based. But other than that, it's like there are good shows that I'm looking at in the future. I'm not good enough yet, but like there are shows that I'm like, oh, I'd like to be there, but exactly.
You got your eyes on them, kind of thing. Right. At some point, I want to see Saxa. I want to see Saxa at Infamous. I want to see.
Yeah, that'd be so cool, to be fair.
Infinite and places like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Infamous is awesome.
Yeah, it is really good because I've done a few run-ins for them, like breaking apart like Pitbull and DJ. Nice. Like it's twice I got volleyed across the ring not the last show. I think it was the show before. Trying to like break up the fight and Pitbull grabbed me.
Yes.
Fuck you.
I thought when I was looking, I was like, nah, it's not.
Without the blue hair, it was before I got adventurous with the hair dye.
Because obviously I do a lot of reels for Infamous. I post a lot of the sort of I get sent the shows kind of thing, and I do the reels. So I was obviously watching them like numerous times, and I was like, I know that person. I was like, and then you just said, I'm like, fucking hell, it was.
Yeah. I'm also the one that do I out myself now? Do I? I'm also the one that slipped down the apron because I had a drink and I didn't realise. I was scared, I was stressed, and I went, oh, okay, and then I just slipped down the apron. And was like, oh, there we go. That's Saxa for you. That is my character. clumsy. Like I did a double ring show a few months back with APW. Went to get in the wrong ring as well. My opponent, she is standing in the ring furthest away from me, and I'm going terrified. Went to get in, and I held the thing, and I went, no, she's over there, and I had to walk around. It was so bad. No one noticed. I played it off, but just to let everyone know, I nearly got in the wrong ring.
Even if you did, just own it. It's like, no, that was on purpose. Yeah. I'm getting in this one. You're in that one. You can come to me. No, you come in. That's again. It's just stuff like that, you know. Like, so even if you make a mistake, you know you've made a mistake. We as fans, we'd be clueless. We'd be like, it doesn't matter to us. We don't know any better. So yeah, just own it. Like, no, that was deliberate. Did that on purpose. I'm just winding you all up.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm lucky because my character is like that. Yeah. So like that is just what was it? It was Infinite like Rumble. I did as a charity one, and I remember Callum, who's like trains at Claw. I went backstage and he went, "Were you supposed to do that?" And I went, "Supposed to do what?" And I did a double 619 on Pele and Tony Wright. But before I did it, it must have been, I didn't think about it. Don't worry, I've gone so dark. Sorry. I didn't think about it, but I just sort of went, they both fell on the rope and I went, and then just did it. And he went, "Oh, it just didn't look like you knew." It was like part of your character. And I was like, yeah, I meant to do that. Oh, of course I meant to do that.
Yeah, of course I did.
But character work.
Always comes down to the character work. That's it. I've just clocked the time, but I said I'd keep you for about an hour max.
I told you I ramble. I told you. It's my fault.
I think I've given as good as I got. I was one sort of say like, no, I'm practically sitting here saying nothing. I've had my ramble head on as well. So yeah. But yeah, thank you so much. I know, again, I kind of feel like we've cut it short, but I don't want it to go for too long. So what we'll say is we'll do a part 2 down the road if you fancy another chat at any point.
100%.
Sweet. But for now, let people know where they can hit you up on Insta and keep an eye on what you're doing.
What is my Instagram handle? The Sax Appeal X.
Sax Appeal. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have Twitter and stuff yet. I can't. Nah.
Stick with Insta. Stick with the reels. It's sort of visual. It's what you need.
Yeah.
So obviously we'll tag you in it as well. So if you're not following Saxa, please hit that follow button. Keep an eye out on shows, coming up. If you can get to one, go buy a ticket, enjoy, and obviously you know who we are. If you're not following us, if this is your first ever episode watching, please hit us up on the socials. WTLS 316 on Instagram. That's my boy Ash who runs that. And WTLS 420 on Twitter. And yeah, as always, I will say thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, all the generic stuff we ask you to do. And remember, always work the left side. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.